everything has been done. We've actually got a little bit more what we were going to get. We had to end up paying a little bit more for it. So I'm comfortable with it.
I just protest the timing. And if I know we need to move forward with this, but I would like to suggest that we protest that in the future, we want to be made aware of changes before, not after the fact, especially not this long after the fact.
That's right. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, are there any?
I think. I was going to say we have made that pretty clear.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Jeff Greeno, Jeff Jacob, or Ed for the 69 kV change task order Gaylor before we vote? If not, I would entertain some motions on this item.
This is Bill. I move to approve the task order for Gaylor in the amount of $133,219.44 and authorize General Manager Basquill to sign the document.
Got a motion by Bill. We have a second. Dan, second. Motion made by, okay, motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve the 69 kV change task order for Gaylor. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks everyone. I know that was some detail in that, so thanks for listening and explaining as well as you did on that. Next item we have is the Spectrum task order. It's an action item, and again, we're going to have Ed and Jeff pick through this for us. Hey guys.
Okay, yes, hi, this is Ed, and I'll get started on this. One thing I should say first is this is not an additional expense that you're approving. This is an expense that is paid for out of the invoice, out of the change order that you just paid. We have a meeting with Gaylor and with Spectrum, and this is actually a legitimate cost because the project took so long. The project was scheduled for about 3 months for completion, and it actually took about a bit close to a year. So that was a lot more engineering time, a lot more inspection time, and it's very well detailed in there. And we also believe that Spectrum has some costs in there that they didn't necessarily include for us because they knew, but they didn't charge us for. We don't really know. We don't know what we don't know. But Jeff Jacob, you're involved in those negotiations. Do you have anything to add on that one too, or?
Yes, this is Jeff. So a couple comments to on this item. We have still held open the retainage with Gaylor, and that will be likely processed this week with the approval of the previous change order. This expense, the lion's share of it, about $28,000 and change, is expense that was related to the extended or prolonged construction of the 69 kV project that Gaylor has agreed to pay. So we are withholding of this $32,000, $28,000 directly related to Gaylor delay in starting the project. Additionally, just to remind you, we've also got about $22,000 in liquidated damages that is being withheld from Gaylor from the full contract price.
Okay, so Ed said, just to confirm, this $32,000 $1,207.75 is part of the previous action item on the 69 kV change order of Gaylor that we approved. Is that right? Part of the
Yes.
previous action item
Yes.
on 69.
I think it's perhaps it's related to.
Oh, okay. It's part of the retainage.
Yes.
I
So
misspoke. Yeah.
It's not a part of that actual number that was approved, but it's part of the retainage, which is blended in with this overall number. If that makes sense.
This is Aaron. Does the retainage cover the entire $32,000 amount of this task order for Spectrum?
Jeff Greeno can back me up, but I do believe it does. That was one of the things we had listed, wasn't it, Jeff?
Me, Jeff Jacobs.
This is Bill. The retainage is 28,000, isn't it?
Well, no, the retainage is 10% of the. I'm sorry, Aaron. I had trouble hearing you, but the retainage is 10% of the entire contract amount. Of that, so we have held back 10% of every payment we have made to Gaylor, and that is 10% of the total contract price, save for the previous task order that was approved, or change order. Of that 10%, we are going to withhold returning items for professional services. That was the $28,000 that I believe that you asked for or asked about, that is encompassed in this $32,000 task order. There was property damage, liquidated damages. There was a material overage, damaged material issue that we ended up settling favorably. And then there is about $20,000 that we are still going to hold on to related to the bowling. If that shotgun approach answered your question, Aaron.
Yes, I believe so. So, as it stands right now, the retainage exceeds this Spectrum task order, but that might change depending on the bowling alley parking lot outcome.
I don't believe that they're related. This task order, Aaron, 28,000 of it is assignable to delay on Gaylor's part that they have agreed to pay to us, if you will. If you think
right.
Just now, the additional 4,000 are other engineering services that were related to an NDOT project, and there were some other Lebanon utility specific requests that were not assignable to Gaylor in the delay on the start time.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks for that explanation, guys. Any other questions for Jeff or Ed or anyone else on the line related to the Spectrum task order?
This is Aaron. Has the bowling alley parking lot issue been put to rest yet?
Not yet. We're viewing this as a Gaylor issue, and they are negotiating with the property owner.
Look, this is Jeff.
If I'm not mistaken, there's some work being done today, it looked like today, on that parking lot.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So this is Jeff. Let me interject. So we have, and I don't want to get too terribly into that issue because there has been threatened litigation by the bowling alley, or they walked right up to the line of threatening. So we have they've provided a claim or an estimate to us we have forwarded that to Gaylor, and as part of the negotiation of the final retainage, Gaylor has agreed to engage their insured and confirm indemnification of Lebanon Utilities for any damage to the bowling alley. We are withholding our engineer's estimate of just under $20,000 to what we believe an appropriate paving of the lot would be, to in case that insurance step would not occur.
And this is Aaron again. One more thing. And then, so this parking lot issue is the last remaining matter to be resolved.
To the best of my knowledge, Aaron, I believe that is the case.
Thank you.
Jeff Reno or Ed, can you think
Yeah.
of any other items?
No, that's all I know.
That should be it.
Okay, any other questions on this Spectrum task order? All right, if not, I'll entertain some motions on this item.
This is Bill. I move to approve the Spectrum task order dated April 7th, 2020 in the amount of $32,207.75 and authorize General Manager Basquill to sign the document.
This is Aaron. I second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Aaron to approve the Spectrum task order. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thanks everyone for that. Looks like Jeff Jacob will address the next item as the item 6, pension plan management and action item. And I'll go ahead and turn that over to Jeff Jacob.
Thank you, Neil. The next two items are related to the pension plan. Just as a general update, we are very close to transferring all items from principal over to One America. I would say, and Sandra can correct me, I would say we're probably about 3 weeks behind where we expected to be just because of virus issues. That will put us likely middle of next month for the transition, or early next month. If we don't hit the end of the month window, it may just be easier to wait till June 1st. But that is going along. The last 3 weeks have been a little slow. So you were, as the specific items in front of you, Marie Marks, who is our broker of record, left the Wellington Group for Sickich Capital Management. And as part of that transition, she would like to keep our business and continue to provide broker of record services for us on both of our, or all three of the plans, hence the 2 documents. So a couple of questions. The compensation under both of these agreements is the same as what she was receiving under the prior arrangement. It is not uncommon for brokers, as you know, to change firms, and that's what this is. Relative to kind of answering the question as to why we have a broker of record, and that's hit home a little bit further for me as we have reviewed a lot of the One America documents and service contracts with the utility. Those documents very plainly spell out that we are not entitled to, nor should we rely on anything that One America says or does relative to investment advice or market strategies or the like. And they waive, or we waive, basically all liability with them. Knowing that the board is not a financial advisor or planner or broker, we need someone to act as an intermediary between One America, who provides suggestions, and a broker of record who interprets those and ultimately makes a final recommendation to the board. So a broker of record does serve a purpose. They are a conduit of information, and they provide that fiduciary buffer for us to provide specific advice to the board and recommendations on plan management for all of the plans. Just so as a note, Marie has been very active in the transition to One America and helping coordinate documents and pushing things with One America and Principal to get things transitioned over.
This is
Go ahead.
Sandra, Sandra Morgan, are you on the line?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the services that you get with Marie Marks?
I am. Marie's been with me for about, I'd say at least 15 years, maybe a little bit longer. And she really is an expert on all three of our plans. And I will say a lot of times if I have a question, I'll start with Marie. And she will save me a ton of work because if she doesn't know the answer, she'll go to Principal, One America, whoever it is, she'll get the answer. If she can't, we might do a conference call or something, but I am 100% satisfied with the services that she provides to me.
Thank you.
So, Jeff, essentially this is just confirming or agreeing that we're staying with Marie despite her change to a different management firm. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Just to clarify,
Any other questions for Jeff?
Just to clarify, we are keeping the Wellington group and following Marie to Sickage Services.
Okay. Anything else for Jeff related to the pension plan management? If not, I'd entertain some motions on this item.
Well, this is Aaron. I move to approve Marie Marks, the Lebanon Utilities Broker of Records agreement with Sickage Capital Management to include the ERSA 408 disclosure and the retirement plan service agreement, authorizing Sandra Morgan as our plan sponsor as signatory.
Got a second out there?
This is Bill. I second.
This is Dan. I'll second it.
Got a motion by Aaron and a quick second by Bill to approve the pension plan management action item. Any other questions for Jeff? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thanks Jeff and Sandra for clarifying that change. Item 7 on the agenda is approval of claims. Now these claims are dated April 22nd.
That's right.
Everyone had a chance to review the claims. If any questions about the claims?
This is Aaron. I want to verify that the total amount is $2,141,590.89. Is that correct?
$2,141,590.89.
Okay,
Okay, thanks, Sandra.
I should,
All right, do we have a motion on the claims?
this is Bill. I move to approve the claim dated April 22nd, 2020 for $2,141,590.89 and ask General Manager Ed Basquill to sign on behalf of the board.
Got a second?
This is Aaron, I second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Aaron to approve the claims dated April 22nd, 2020 in the amount of $2,141,590.89. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thanks for that. The next item is other business. I think we have, Ed, do you have anything for other business?
Yes, I do, and I know Ryan has a couple things too. Let me.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a couple slides that Sandra prepared for me that I guess we're both going to talk about. Let me get it up on my screen here. Just 2 seconds here. All right, this is our aged accounts receivable. We're keeping a very close eye on this with the COVID-19 and the suspension on disconnects. And as you can see, they're increasing. They're not out of, I wouldn't say they're out of the normal range yet, but this is a trend that we're going to expect to continue as long as the lockdown continues. Sandra, do you have anything to add on this one?
no, not anything to add other than, currently when you show your other slide off also,
Okay, I'll move that one.
Right now, we're kind of watching our disconnects really close. And our disconnects have, for the first 5 cycles of April, have gone from an average of about 2,500 to 16,500. So they're up about 14,000 per cycle. And keep in mind when I say disconnects, that means people that would have been disconnected. However, we are not disconnecting anyone. So we are seeing a pretty good increase in that. However, at this time, a lot of that appears to be our cash collections. On average, we normally take around $65,000 a month in cash. And for the month of April, that was $5,000. And since we are on TV, I will say people are still putting cash in the drop box, and I highly recommend not doing that. If there's, you can pay by phone, you can pay over the internet, you can call up to the office. So there's lots of options to pay. But all in all, I think our cash collections still look pretty good, or not cash, but overall collections look pretty good. And I expect it to go up again in May, but we're keeping an eye on it every single day. We're tracking these graphs just to make sure that we don't get any kind of issue.
Sandra, this is Bill. I have a question. What's the overall percentage of drop in cash flow?
Right now, if I look at it, I'd say right now the overall percentage in all collection types would be maybe only around 3 or 4%.
3 or 4.
Early on,
Just 3 or 4.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Early on in April, it looked like it was going to be a lot higher than that. But we had some pickup months come through, or pickup days that came through. But comparing it across the years and then by month, and then you have to look at the revenues also, because weather plays, a big factor in that. If you have a high heat month or something like that, then you're obviously going to get more collections coming in. But right now, I would say we're at, really less than probably about 5%. help, Bill?
Yeah, I just having a hard time looking at it. If it's less than 5%, we got 16,000 disconnects.
Bill, I think that means it's the small customers. There's the people that pay in cash, and they're residential, and as a percentage of our normal monthly income, it's not a very big percentage, but it's a lot of disconnects. Is that about right, Sandra?
Yeah, so normally we collect around $3 million a month. And if we look at the current disconnects right now, just through the first 5 cycles, it's going to be about 60,000, 70,000 higher than it normally is. So, when I look at it that way, it comes out to be right around 2.5%. But we still have 3 cycles left for the month. So I'm guessing it's going to throw it up maybe around 5% or so.
So you still have 3 cycles for the month of April?
Yes, we still have 3 cycles of due dates that will come in for the month of April.
All right. So okay. What so you only got 3 or 4% with only 1 cycle in. Correct?
No, that's with 2.5% with 5 cycles.
Oh, okay. Okay, that answers my question.
Let me I'm doing some quick math. So if the trend continues, if the trend continues for the next 3 cycles, we would be between 3 and 4%. If it goes up a little bit, I'm thinking we're going to be more like around 5%. But I mean, who knows what will happen with the next 3 cycles? But just looking at the trend right now, that's what we would appear to be.
Okay.
And the 16,000 bills of dollars.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping that was not disconnects because I don't know that that's the whole population.
Yeah, that's dollars. So the average is $2,500, and it's up to $16,500.
All right, that clarifies that. Thank you.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's good, and I think it's about what we would expect, because with the COVID-19, it's going to hit hardest the people that are in service industries, people who are at lower income and who typically pay in cash and pay in person and may not even have a checking account. But realize there's people out there without checking accounts who might not have a means to pay because they don't get online, and they don't have a credit card, and that's what we expect. So I guess one other item before turning it over to, I think, Ryan, is I want to thank BFNS again for the GoToMeeting app and helping us out with that. We've used Zoom extensively too. It works very well too. But I just want to kind of take a straw poll of the board. Would you guys want to be online? Because we really wanted to keep it low tech to make it easy, and we didn't know how long it was going to last. But we could certainly be on screen, certainly have on screen, very much like when you've done a virtual meeting other places, and we could set that up for the next meeting. But is that what you guys would like? Do you see a value in that, or you just want me to share screens?
Yeah, I don't care either. I just don't want to make it difficult for anyone else. Because I know, as simple as it may sound, video for some people is a lot more difficult than just simply calling in. So unless we have to go face to face for some reason, I would just prefer to do it this way. And if people want to video in, they have a link to do that if they'd like.
I agree with Neil.
Okay. So thanks again, John Leitner. And so what we're doing now is working, and you guys are happy with it, because we can upgrade some more if you want, but this seems to be working. I like the idea of especially if someone's looking on their phone, having the whole screen used by the screen share instead of seeing my ugly mug. So, okay. With that said, with Neil's permission, Ryan, did you have something?
Yeah, thank you.
And I have just a few things I wanted to give the board a real quick update on some projects we have going on. First project is the Indianapolis Avenue Force Main reroute. If you remember, Midwest Wool got the contracts for this, and they may be, and John Leitner is on the call also, but they may be the most eager contractor that we had in a really good way. We had a pre-construction meeting yesterday. They are going to start the project on Monday, or I'm sorry, beginning of next week, and they're anticipating the completion in about 4 weeks, and possibly sooner, obviously, weather related and any complications. But they said between 3 and 4 weeks for completion, and that is with all the considerations for the property owner. And for the adjacent properties and for the walking trail and everything involved. So that was really good news, and we're going to be able to fast track that and get that project done. So wanted to give an update on that. Does anybody have any questions on the Force Main reroute? All right. Second thing is the Chicago Street water plant. We are currently doing the new filter media. That will, barring any complications, be done either first or this evening or first thing in the morning. We will backwash those filters, chlorinate them, get bacteria samples get consecutive passing bacteria samples, and should be able to Tuesday at the latest, get that plant back online. And we also cleaned out and inspected the raw water tank that was updated a few years ago, and all the improvements that we made on that on the inside of the tank look great. We've had no issues with them. The baffles are still in great shape, and that tank is completely cleaned out. So Chicago Street will have a totally cleaned out raw water tank and totally brand new filter media by next week. And with that project being completed in about 2 weeks, we will start our spring flush. But I want to make sure that filter media and that plant is running correctly before we start our spring flush. That's why the delay in that. Any questions that I can answer on the Chicago Street plant? Okay. Lastly, we do have an issue at the Scott Barrett facility in the industrial park. We received a phone call last week that they were having water pressure issues, that it was dipping down to almost zero, and air was in the line. So we immediately, I sent a crew out. I also contacted the water plants. Our water plant's pressure was reading exactly what it normally reads. We took the pressure gauge on the fire hydrant right out in front of Scott Barrett. It read 51, 52, kind of bounced around PSI, which is fantastic for that area. And the pressure going in the building was about 49 to 50, which is great. And after our meter techs and our water distribution crew did some investigation, what we found out is that Scott Barrett has turned another line on and increased their flow by almost, well, on the average, a little over 1 million gallons a month for the last few months. So we had to open our bypass valve, and we're going to put a meter in there, and then we have some other options. But what this did kind of bring to our attention, and we're going to do some further investigation, is EDUs, availability fees. Scott Barrett, from my calculations, only paid for around, well, their EDUs are not matching up with what their current usage is. And I've got figures that I will send out to the board, but I don't have them all calculated yet, so I don't want to give any wrong numbers. But we are going to recalculate those and address those when we address the pressure issues at Scott Barrett, because it looks like right now the best option is to tap the main in a different area and run another water line for them, just because the water line for a window development company, was not for a food manufacturer or baby food bottling company or anything like that. So the engineering usage was not what Scott Barrett needs. So we're going to address that. We're also going to address the availability piece. But I just didn't want the board, when we start sending emails, I just didn't want anybody to get blindsided or question about what we were doing engineering-wise or what we were doing accounting and financial-wise without hearing it from me first. And this is after I have involved John Leitner on the engineering side, and Ed and Jeff Jacob and I had talked about the proper course of action here. So we're kind of in the early beginning stages, but I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of it. So if there's any questions on that, I know I kind of went through everything really fast, but if there's any questions on any of that stuff, I'd be happy to answer them. Or John Leitner's on the call also. He can also help answer questions.
This is Aaron. Let's see. If I understand that we need to put in a second water line for this customer, correct?
We believe there are a few options. We believe that would be the best for everybody involved. But like I said, I just gave this information to John yesterday, and we had a super quick conference call this morning about it. So we're still kind of in the very early development and option stages, and that we have not discussed any of those options with Scott Barrett yet.
Oh, okay, so you're going to keep us up to date on that as this progresses, right?
Yeah, I plan on, absolutely, that's a great question. I will keep you up to date on what we decide engineering-wise and what is decided accounting-wise and financially. But like I said, I just didn't want to send any information or have any correspondence with Scott Barrett without the board knowing that that information was going to be shared back and forth, just in case somebody would ask you, especially the board. I didn't want anybody to get blindsided by what was going on.
And there's something needs to be done. We have the budget to cover it.
Well, I mean, if something needs to be done, in my opinion, this is super early, obviously, and I bet John Leitner might be able to weigh in on this. It would be a Scott Barrett budget, not 11 utilities.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, good stuff, Ryan. Thanks for those updates. Anybody have anything else for Ryan, or anybody have anything else for other business? Okay, I will note the second item is our public comments opportunity, and there are a few different ways to do that. The comments at LebanonUtilities.com are, of course, our main phone number at 765-482-5100, and then our live chat for this YouTube meeting. Ed, can you weigh in and let us know if we have any of those that have come in during the meeting?
I've gotten no emails and no phone calls, and currently there's nothing on live chat, and there's 2 watchers on live chat, which is probably just staff or us watching. So we have no public involvement this time, or comment anyway. Hopefully we got public involvement when they watch it later.
Okay. Well, as everyone knows, and for the record, these meetings are posted and recorded on YouTube. So if there are questions or comments after the fact, we're available to address those. So any other comment from anybody before we adjourn? It looks like the next meeting scheduled for Wednesday, May 6th, 2020 at 5 p.m. I would assume will be in a similar format. Anybody have anything else?
Well, Neil, for what it's worth, I think you did a good job leading these meetings in this difficult fashion. So thank you.
Well, thank you guys. It's you guys are pretty good at not talking over each other, because it's hard when we have delays and some video and some recording. So I think they're working pretty well, and they're the safe thing to do and the smart thing to do at this point. So we'll probably just stay status quo, and as long as we're staying productive and getting things done, I think this makes a lot of sense. So thanks for that, Aaron. Anything else from anybody before we adjourn? All right, I entertain some motions for that.
This is Bill. I make a motion, we adjourn.
This is Aaron, I second.
All right, motion made by Bill, seconded by Aaron to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. And I hope there's no one opposed. All